Okay, we are live on the internet.
Recording in progress.
And we are live here. How you doing? Today is March 27th, 2022. Welcome to another Sunday Bars. Let me know what's up in the chat. Thank you for turning the screens on. I needed to see that. So, what are we talking about today? Peace. What are we talking about today? How the ego bounces reality checks. So, what does it mean? If you don't understand the Sunday Bars, I'm going to explain it. And for the people that do understand the Sunday Bars, just bear with me. So, you don't want your real checks to bounce. When you receive a check, you want to go to the bank with confidence and say, here's my check, bank teller. And if the bank teller says, hey, it's not a good check, bounce. It bounced, right? You're going to have a problem with that. So imagine having a reality check. And you say, I know myself. But your reality check bounces. Why would a reality check bounce? Well, could it be the ego? So that's how I'm starting off. How the ego bounces reality checks. All right? Now, many people say the obstacle is usually the way, while the ego is the enemy. Many people say the obstacle is the way. No, you're supposed to run away from obstacles. No, the obstacle is actually the actual way. And the ego is the enemy. I say the ego might be an enemy, but I highly doubt that it's the enemy. Here's a reversal statement. If the ego is the enemy and the obstacle is the way, then if the ego is the obstacle, the ego is the way then. Let's think about how weird this sounds. Okay? Hey you. Kill your attitude and have an ego death. We've all heard of the ego death, right? Here's me. Okay, so you want me to kill my good attitudes too? And the good sections of my ego too? Or no? Additionally, we are talking about one's ideal of ego, which does not mean that everyone has an ego that's in that form. And before an ego death or a so-called ego death, let me ask you this question. Should one do this? I don't think you want to kill your ego. I think you want to prevent it from controlling your decision making. But then again, it's not a catchy title. Killing the ego is a catchy title. Or bouncing checks, whatever. So when I learned how to observe my thoughts and become aware of my ego, that's when I began to become more present. Right? Which one can kill you? Your past, the present, or the future? The only thing that can kill you is the present, right? The present is a very powerful time. But in the future, anything that's going to happen to you is going to be a present thing. It can't happen until it's present. Well, the past can't kill you. If you live through it, it didn't kill you. You're presently dying from it, but it can't kill you. So, when I learned how to observe my thoughts, because again, we're talking about ego. So when I learned how to observe my thoughts and become aware, and I became aware of my ego, that's when I became more present. So present, okay, boom, I'm here. I'm present. I'm here right now. No, think about the future and what all the stuff you got to do. No. I'm right here. I'm really right here, like looking at these lights, LD lights, and I'm really here. Like, oh my God, I'm looking at my computer. I am here right now. Now I got to think about what I got to do after this and what I want to eat after this. Nope, I'm here. I'm here right now. That's still not that deep. Present is not deep. People be like, be present. Good night, New York. Good night. Be present. Be present. And I'm like, that's cool. Okay, awareness. When I became aware of my thoughts, and awareness is cool. And being present, it helps to begin the balancing act of recognizing and adjusting your ego, your negative ego and positive ego. It's the beginning of the balancing act of recognizing and adjusting your ego, your negative ego and positive ego. So watch this. Have you ever seen like Law and Order, or like one of those crime shows where it's like they're in a police lineup? Can you describe your negative ego and your positive ego like a police lineup? You're in a police lineup, like he did it, she did it. Talking to your negative ego. That's that. There you go, right there. There she go. Those are the people that keep ruining my life. Can you point out your negative ego sections? Remember, we in a police lineup. Can you point out that's a positive ego. You want to roll with me today? I got a lot of stuff to do today. The negative ego is trying to come. Can I come too? If you don't know what it looks like, you'll be like, yeah, sure, come with me. I have really important stuff to do. Yeah, negative sections of my ego. Yeah, come on in here. Crazy, right? Yeah, negative sections of my ego. Now, you should only worry about decreasing the negative slices of the ego pizza. I want to make it easier to explain. So, have you ever ordered a half and half? I don't care what it is. Half this, half that on a pizza. Look at your ego like a pizza. So half of it is your negative side and half of it is your positive side. So again, kill your ego. You're not going to kill your ego. Because we'll talk about that later. So let's talk about the positive sides that we try to suppress sometimes on the positive ego sections. Okay, here we go. There is no selfless acts or gestures, as you will garner self-satisfaction from committing acts one considers selfless. Here we go for all the Buddha heads. I don't need anything. It's about giving. It's not about me. It's about, I've met people like that. I promise you. It's about other people. It's just not about me. It's just not about me. It's just about other people. Okay. There are no selfless acts or gestures. Y'all know what a gesture is. As you will garner self-satisfaction for committing acts one considers selfless. So let's give it up for all the Buddhas out here that they're not doing it for nobody but just for other people. There are no selfless acts or gestures. You will garner self-satisfaction from committing acts one considers selfless. Watch this. Don't feel bad about it. This will be deemed as the positive sections of the ego. Dang. Now, here's what social media allows. The negative ego, watch this. The negative ego sections is proud. You are meditating and appearing mindful to others. I appear mindful. Let me go hear some dope from other people. Because you can hear something dope from other people real quick, or you can hear something dope from your study and add to the dopeness, showing the deeper understanding of what you're saying. And you can sit there and meditate and appear mindful. And the negative ego sections loves that. Loves it. So the law of duality within ego. It's called the negative ego sections and the positive ego sections. So the positive and negative slices of the ego pizza. Okay? So again, according to the law of duality, will always be a half and half reality, at least. Look at your life like a half and half reality. Half and half is in everything. Up, down, boy, girl, dry, wet, skinny, fat, good, evil, positive, negative, God, devil, nothing, something, problem, solution. Positive ego that works for you or negative ego that doesn't work for you. Duality. Can we just stop? I want to stop this right now. And I want to thank sections of positive ego for all the good things that it has done and it is doing for our world. I know positive sections of ego. I know people been hating on you. I know. I just want to stop and thank you for all the good things. What has the positive sections of ego done for us? Well, medical breakthroughs, technology, beauty, art, motivation, just to mention a couple of things. Blaming ego for everything is a thing now. So to all the smart people, I just want to say, wait a couple 100 years and try again. This is not the world, people. Not yet. To all the smart people. Because again, ego, oh, that's the ego. That's the ego. We need ambition. We need ego. Dissatisfaction to change our world for the better. Or the sections of ego that works best for self and groups. I didn't just say self only. I said self and groups. I didn't say your group. I didn't say your group. This is universal talk. Well, me and my group and me and my, that's still a selfless group. That's still a self group. Humans have to understand that you are the ego. Because ego means I. You kill your entire ego and you kill yourself. Ego is your subconscious programs. All you have to do is tackle the bad programs. Here we go. Here go the apps. Here go the ego apps. The ego bad apps that have been downloaded to your processing center since birth. I don't care if it's TV shows. I don't care if it's problems in your family, generational curses, blah, 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 blah. All you have to do is tackle the bad programs. Okay? Here we go. Arrogance, pride, haughtiness, lack of discipline, things of that nature. Arrogance, pride, haughtiness, lack of discipline, things of that nature. You must carefully listen and at least, I didn't say ultimately, I say you must carefully listen and at least be aware and filter them. Filter those bad programs. What's the definition of filter? A device for removing impurities or solid particles from a liquid or a gas passed through it. A device removing impurities. Filter arrogance, pride, haughtiness, lack of discipline, and anything else that works against the fulfillment levels of purpose attainment. I'll say that again. Filter arrogance, pride, haughtiness, lack of discipline, and anything else that works against the fulfillment levels. Just because you're fulfilled now, stop acting like you can't be 2023 fulfilled, 2024 fulfilled. There's fulfillment levels of purpose attainment. I don't care anything else about what you're trying to attain besides purpose first, which is levels of purpose. So you got a lot to do. So one must carefully listen and be aware and filter them, and but keep the positive self-preservation sections, right? So one thing I see people when they're getting rid of the so-called ego, they're getting rid of the self-preservation sections, and that's not cool, right? These self-preservation sections that we easily and conveniently ignore. Here we go. You know that voice that tells you to get proper rest and not to eat that, or not to eat that much, or when to work out, and how hard we should run, and just to name a few. So you know that voice again. Get proper rest. Don't eat that. Don't eat that much. Come on, work out right now. Come on, work out this hard. Those are the self-preservation sections. Don't get rid of those. When you go through the filtering process, don't keep those, right? Okay. So we know the bad parts of the ego is the problem. So it's the problem. I didn't say it's a problem. I said it's the problem. But a answer is awareness of the ego, but it's not the answer. The highest teaching is comprehension of the sections of positive and negative ego. Jason, comprehension is deeper than awareness. Yes, everybody be on this awareness stuff. Awareness is cool, but I'm aware of the Chinese language. I don't comprehend it when it's spoken to me, but I'm aware of Chinese language. Give it up for me. I'm aware of Chinese language. Give it up for me. Yeah. So they could be telling me in Chinese that I have $1 billion waiting on me. So just walk down there and make a right and open the door and get your $1 billion. But I'm aware of Chinese language. I didn't comprehend none of those instructions to get those billions of dollars. So awareness is cool. It's a door. It's a door to open. It's a comprehension. So I have 3 supreme questions for you. You ready? Even if you're not ready, when you come back to this, you're going to be like, oh, okay. Write it down. Write it down. Here we go. It's tripped me out a little bit. Isn't the ego the one also watching, being aware and comprehending us? I'm going to ask question number 1 again. Isn't the ego the one also watching, being aware and comprehending us? Supreme question number 2. Is the thinker also the thought? The thought of what? Like I said, is the ego the one watching us too? Last question. Is it true that the answer is just meditation to get rid of the ego, which is forms of meditation? So again, everybody thinks, so I just sit still, and there's forms of meditation, but one form is silence. Think about it. How are you going to be aware and comprehend it? Just I'm doing this, and one form of meditation is silence. Turn off everything. Can you stop ego acting by force? Can you stop ego acting by force? If so, how? Not saying it's impossible, but ego is our animal force. Or sections of ego that we're talking about that is bad is our animal nature versus our divine nature. Life is constant. Life is a constant struggle. Watch this. Not only against forces around us, but above all, forces against our egos. We can never afford to rest on our oars. So the picture yourself in a canoe. We can never rest. But you can't row forever. But we can never rest on our oars. For if we do, we will soon see ourselves carried downstream again. We can never afford to rest on our oars, because if we do, we will soon see ourselves carried downstream again. since fat, laziness, death, and the most negative sections of the ego never, ever, ever take a day off, since fat, laziness, death, and the most negative sections of the ego never take a day off, then we probably should never take time off the same. Even on our so-called days off and vacations, we still need to be able to fight the obstacles that may come on those sacred days off. So let's get into the universal ego death that we should be talking about and how we should be doing it. Possibly. Because again, there's many forms. Possibly this could work for some people. The voluntary universal ego death. Remember we was talking about duality. Or the involuntary ego death. One you read and learn a bunch and you do it on your own. I wonder which one that is. Like I said, one is when you read and you learn a bunch and you do that on your own. I'm going to say that's the voluntary one. And then the involuntary ego death is when life humbles you. There's some hard-headed people out here. And the mind is usually in the head. And if it's a hard head, it's probably hard to get in. A hard head is like, so say mind is like a Wi-Fi system, but you just got a hard head. Everything is hard. It's like a club that you just can't get into. Hold on. You sound smart. Hold on. What's your name? Your name ain't on this list. Hard head clubs and stuff. So imagine life humbling you, because life will humble you. I don't care who it is. It's just forms of humbling. All while you're humbling yourself. So life is humbling you and you're humbling yourself at the same time. Sometimes, I didn't say all the time, sometimes, I didn't say all the times, sometimes this equates to a person's golden age or a golden period of life. A time of extreme magic possibilities. Uh-oh, you sounding spooky again, I know. Abracadabra. Nothing. This existed, but now it didn't exist. Or, you see what I'm saying? Or I'm making it disappear, or I'm making it appear. Abracadabra. The magic I'm talking about is merely talking about the so-called invisible wants and needs that a person presently, that don't, basically the wants and needs, the invisible wants and needs that don't so-called exist on the 3D form. I want that new bike. So the so-called ideal didn't just become something. And we were talking about words. Man, I want that new bike. And then it doesn't exist, but one of these days making it progressively appear in the 3D realm through particular forms of action. That's the type of magic I'm talking about. So again, magic meaning making so-called invisible wants and needs, making it progressively appear in the 3D form or third dimensional realm through particular forms of action. That's magic. Ooh, that's magic. Your positive ego gives you wings. And your negative ego will make you fall hard. No Red Bull. So if positive ego gives you wings, no Red Bull, and your negative ego will make you fall hard, get it? Because pride cometh before the fall. Or you can even say all falls. Some falls, all falls. Niagara Falls, all falls. Winter, spring, summer, and fall, all falls are related or at least close cousins to pride. All faults are related or at least close cousins to pride. Well, what is pride? Because again, we on this definition thing. In 2022, we are on definitions. I've been saying definitions before these definition scandals are going on. Because again, definitions gives you a taste of where a person's coming from. Yo, do this, yo, do this, yo, do this. And I did it, and we still arguing because you didn't know their definition of do this. And most people are so self-centered and arrogant, they don't even tell you their definition. They say, I'm in my head all the time, so you should be in my head all the time and know what I'm saying. So the definition of pride that I'm talking about is a feeling of deep pleasure and satisfaction derived from one's own achievements. Yeah, I achieved that. Or here, watch this. Or the achievements of those with whom one is closely associated with. Yeah, that's my second grade teacher. Yeah, that's my best friend. That's my best friend. I'm prideful because that's my best friend. Yeah, I'm standing next to my best friend or that person I know. So I'm prideful. Or from qualities. Yeah, I'm caring, and everybody says I'm a caring and nice person, so I'm experiencing forms of pride. Or possessions that are widely admired. Yeah, this watch is, so-and-so gave me this watch, you know what I'm saying? And, Michael Jackson gave me this watch. And or consciousness of one's own dignity. I am so dignified, I'm experiencing forms of pride because of my consciousness of my dignity. Or especially proud of a particular quality or skill, right? I'm prideful because I'm the greatest bricklayer in the East Coast. And my skills are very high, and I'm prideful from that. Ego definition. A person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. The part of the mind that meditates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for the reality testing. Did you say reality testing? Yes. I know they told me not to touch that stove, but you're testing reality. My ego told me to touch that stove, even though a lot of those older people told me not to. So tally mark for those older people being right. So I should listen to all older people? Absolutely not. It's a tally mark. You were wrong there. So you listen to older people wrong from that standpoint with your hot hand. Your hot hand told you that you listened wrong, so that was more your fault. So ego is a person's sense of self-esteem and self-importance, and the part of the mind that meditates or mediates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for the reality testing and the sense of personal identity. Man, that sounds deep. I say, so basically fake stuff that can be increased or decreased. Fake stuff that can be increased or decreased. We see the current world through the lenses of our current level, I'll say it like this. We see the world through the lenses of our current ego level reality. Yeah, I said ego level reality. And I said, yeah, we see the world through the lenses of our current ego level reality. Well, what's the definition of see to you? Perceive with the eyes, discern visually, discern or deduce mentally after reflection or from information. So again, discern from information. Understanding usually happens at this level, not overstanding. So congratulations. Yeah, I saw what you did. Yeah, I see you. Understanding usually happens at this level, not overstanding. Question for all of y'all. What type of ego level do you currently have? Because it will change. Yeah, you heard me. It will change. What type of ego level do you have? Because it will change. Yeah, you heard me. It will change. It will change, or it will be altered because it only reacts to its current environments with an S. Humans have or had Great Depression ego sections. The Roaring 20s ego sections. Yeah, the 1900s and the Roaring 20s of the 2022s. Because we're in the Roaring 20s right now. There's nothing new under the sun. I just got the job ego sections. I just lost my job ego sections. I am rich ego sections. I am poor ego sections. I know homeless people that won't. I don't drink that. Y'all better quit playing. Ego is everywhere. I am sick ego sections. I'm Michael Jordan, and I got the flu, and I'm still about to kill everybody out here. I am sick ego sections. I am in tip-top shape ego sections. I am the worst shape of my life ego sections. Man, I can't let people see me like that. Ego is everywhere. First world ego section, second world ego section, and even third world. You see people in third world countries, you tell me they don't got egos? And again, first world, we know everybody got egos here. But ego is fake, I keep telling y'all. Ego changes like the fake people who behave according to the current opportunities presented to them. So you don't rock with fake people, but you rock with fake ego. Ego changes like the fake people who behave according to the current opportunities presented to them. Your ego and expertise is real and fake. Your ego and your expertise is real and fake. And when it's temporarily real, because I'm an expert. I don't know what Jason's talking about. I'm an expert. In 2022, I wonder what the world is going to think about your expertise in 2089. Or the year 400. Your ego and your expertise is real and fake, and when it's temporarily real, it has to be earned. You have to earn that ego. Stop playing. You got to earn it. Or not. True success to many individuals, including myself, is earned through the higher levels of mind. That's successful. But it's earned access to higher levels of mind. I was born smart. Earned access to higher levels of mind. Man, when I was young, I had straight A's and earned access to higher levels of mind by staying in the beginner's mindset. Think about whatever you're doing, whatever makes you have an ego. Remember the beginning of it? That hunger, like, man, I just want to do this, I want to do this, that hunger, that energy, the beginner mindset allows you to display the time, the hunger, and the humbleness that everyone tends to love from beginners. Think about it. Everybody loves beginners. Man, they so humble, they so hungry. Man, they just dedicating all their time to this. Man, I love beginners' energy. That's why they hire a lot of college students. All that energy, all that hunger, all that time they gonna put in, all that humbleness, because they don't know enough to display inflated, arrogant ego sections that only so-called experts can display. An expert can be created just like an ego can be created. You can lose your expertise and you can decrease your positive ego sections. I'll say that again. An expert can be created just like an ego can be created. You can lose your expertise and decrease your positive ego sections. How, Jason? If you stop the processes that made you an expert or that earned level of positive egoism. That's all. Which means it's not totally real. Your expertise and your ego are real to you, but it may not be that real to others interested in earning different levels in sections of ego. Success, power, and money can be intoxicating. Do you want your child's bus driver to drive intoxicated? Do you want your surgeon operating on you while they're intoxicated? Then why would you want anyone you love and care about to operate life through the intoxicating side of the negative ego sections? Sadhguru said about ego sections that I'm talking about, you are creating a small person of yourself to defend yourself all the time. You got bodyguards defending you because you're creating a small person or a small army to defend yourself all the time. The only thing that needs preservation is your physical body. Your personality, we must small it. We gotta grow it. We must small it. Sometimes, no, every day. We must small it every day because it grow. If we must small it every day, it must do something every day. I wonder what it does every day if we gotta small it every day. So remember the cartoons when the cartoons would show the little angel and then the little devil on the character's shoulders. Has that little devil ever helped you? No, seriously, has that little devil ever helped you? Yes, it has. If so, how? How's that little devil helped you? Here let's go. Let's fight this ego. Fall in love with the work and update your relationship and approach to the work. So fall in love, put your head down, and update your relationship and approach to work. And when you look up, so-called success will be all around you, and it'll be all around you to be used and experienced at your disposal. Forget all that. Put your head back down. Do and update the work that increases egotistical opportunities. Yeah, egotistical opportunities that you should never take. What? Yeah. So again, fall in love with the work. Update your relationship and approach to the work. And then when you look up, so-called success will be all around you and you can experience at your disposal. Congratulations. But put your head back down. Do and update the work that increases egotistical opportunities that you should never take. Never take the ego opportunities that I'm talking about, these sections of ego. But sometimes it does feel good. Look how I'm stroking myself. Sometimes it does feel good to know that you have ego opportunities available, which is still a particular section of the ego being stroked. You see how ego can just slip in? I promise you. It'll slide through the cracks. It looks for cracks. But you know, sometimes it feels good. It feels good to know you still have them. That's an ego crack, because the ego studies you. So placebo ego, that fake stuff. Remember that fake ego. Placebo ego versus universal confidence. If an egotistical person does not know why and cannot tell you why they were born, right? So that would let you know they know their purpose. Because I didn't say how they was born. I said, even though we know how we were born, we have books to show that humans know how we were born. But why were you born? Oh my God, that's a mystery. Okay. But they still have and operate in that negative ego sections. This just means that their subconscious might know how dope they are, but consciously they don't know why they feel so good or dope about themselves. Okay? So, can ego and one language mix? Remember, if everybody in the room has an ego, they probably got different languages. So it will have to be one language. But can ego, which is a simulation to a one language, can it mix? And what language are you talking about? Because I ain't talking to them and I ain't talking to them. One language inside of the mind of the creator of all of this. Jason, I need some Bible. Well, Genesis 11:6, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one. Who said that? Well, according to Genesis 11:6, the Lord said, the people, behold, the people are one. Behold, meaning come look or something, right? Who was he looking at? The people. And what were the people doing? The people were one, according to Genesis 11, the Lord said. And they have one language. Now, again, the Lord is giving an eyewitness account of what the people are doing. And they're one and they have one language. And then the Lord said in Genesis 11:6, and they begin to do. That sounds like a verb. That sounds like an action statement. It sounds like they had one language and then they begin to do with the one language. But they can't do anything. Hold on. What did the Lord say according to Genesis 11:6? And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. So with some hard-headed people, does a true ego death have to come with the actual death? There's the moment when you're nothing but everything at the same time. And if we're all inside of the Creator's mind, like your dreams are in your mind, during sleep or during awakened daydreams, then what are you and I really apart from to even possess a toxic, individualized ego? Does a true ego death come with actual death? The moment when you are nothing but everything at the same time. If we are inside the Creator's mind, like your dreams are in your mind during sleep or during awakened daydreams. So I'm awake. What are you doing? You're inside of your mind, creating, doing something, experiencing something, seeing something, experienced and created. Then what are you and I really apart from to even possess a toxic, individualized ego? Hi, Jason, I'm a hater. Can I speak? Yes, hater, come speak. Jason, we are not connected. We are all individuals. Okay, hater person who I let speak. We share universal laws. We so-called share the earth. We share the Earth's 3D laws, such as the law of gravity. We share the law of gravity. We share the sun. Shout out to China. We share the moon and we share the air. We share mind. Oh, because mind is not yours. Just like the Wi-Fi doesn't belong to your computer. And power and energy doesn't belong to your house. And gas doesn't belong to your car. The ego might be an enemy, but I highly doubt it's the enemy. If the ego is the enemy and the obstacles is the way, then ego is the way. in your GPS system is the positive ego sections that naturally cancel out the negative ego sections, that causes the outcomes that keep our generational relationships with this fake energy alive and well. If the ego is the enemy and the obstacles is the way, then ego is the way. Ego is the way. And your GPS system is the positive ego sections that naturally cancel out the negative ego sections. How do you know, Jason? That causes the outcomes that keep our generational relationships, meaning your parents, your parents, your grandparents, parents, generational relationships with this fake energy alive and well. I'm going to close it there. Thank you for joining me for another Sunday Bars presentation. Hit me up on the inbox if you want to go deeper into this particular conversation. This was fun. Let me stop it there.
Recording stopped.
Okay. Peace and love, fam.